Hi everyone! So we have decided to participate in a very exciting readathon for the month of April, and we are going to be participating in the O.W.L.S readathon, which is based on the O.W.L.S exams from the Harry Potter books.
Yes.
Now this readathon was created by Book Roast. We'll leave a link to her announcement video in the description below, so you can go over there to find more details. But the basics is, she has created a readathon based on all of the classes from the Harry Potter novels. So each class corresponds to like a different reading challenge. And you get graded at the end with how many books you read. So the highest grade you can get is you can get 5 owls for participating in 5 different classes. So we've each picked 5 different books to try to get through in April, and we will explain as we go. So let's just get into the video.
So the first class is Ancient Runes, and the challenge for that is a book with a symbol on the cover. I've chosen one for this class. Have you guys?
I have as well.
Okay, so mine... Oh, I don't have mine in order. Oops. So the one that I chose is The Wicker King by Ancrum. And I bought this for myself like maybe a month ago, and I haven't gotten to it yet. I just heard really good things about this recently, and it sounds kind of like magical realism-esque about 2 boys who are friends, and one starts to like think that what he's seeing might not be real, and that's kind of all I know. But the reason why I picked it up, let's see, because it's kind of like got a bit mixed media and it has like photos and stuff in it. And then I also noticed that as it goes and as the character starts to become a bit more like unhinged, I guess, it gets darker on the pages. And I just think it's going to be really fun.
It looks really, and that's a beautiful cover.
Yeah, and
all sorts of symbols.
There's symbols all over it, so I thought this was perfect. So that's mine.
Good choice.
Thanks.
I chose, mine are all out of order too. I chose A Stitch in Time by Daphne Kalmer. This is a middle grade title that's coming out this June. And there's a little compass up on the top, and I figured that was enough to count as a symbol.
Yeah, I think it counts. That is such a cute cover.
That's the thing. I really don't know all that much about this one, but as soon as this arrived, it's like one of the prettiest covers I've ever seen. It looks like it's embroidered, and it's just got all these like forest animals and stuff, and then our main character in a little boat that I think it sounds like she escapes on after her aunt is trying to take her away from her home after her parents pass away.
Everything, even just on the spine, is like a cute little mouse.
I know, it's
adorable. I bet the finished copy of that book is going to be so beautiful and embroidered.
But the funny thing is about all the little animals and stuff on here is that the main character, her name's Dorothy Donut Sedgwick, and she taxidermies things.
Oh, no! So they're not alive animals.
No. Maybe she meets some alive ones too. So yeah, anyways, that's my, which one is it? Ancient Runes. There you go.
And that's nice because that's a short book. I bet you'll fly through that one.
Might be part of the reason I
chose
it.
So mine is a book that's actually coming out in May, so it's a good time to read it, and that is Undead Girl Gang by Lily Anderson. Yeah, Lily Anderson, and they have like little hearts and little pinky sweaters and little symbols on the cover there with a jean jacket.
I love that cover. That's really cute.
And again, this is another one I don't know too much about, but it sounds like what I've heard from people who've already reviewed it is it's really fun.
Yeah. Okay.
And it just looks fun. Like,
yeah, it totally looks fun.
So it sounds like this book is kind of like Mean Girls with witches, like Mean Girls meets Craft, and that sounds like fun.
That sounds awesome.
So I'm excited to get to this one, and it comes out in May, so it's the perfect time to read it.
Yep. Awesome. Alright, so the next class is Arithmecy. Read a book with a number on the cover or in the title. Did either of you guys pick that?
I chose this one.
I did not, so you go ahead, Sally.
Me first?
Sure.
Alright, this is another middle grade title. This one is coming out in May, and it's The Inventors at number 8 by A.M. Morgen. I've actually already read the first couple of chapters, but I'm going to restart this one from the beginning because it's been a couple months now since I picked it up. But it's about George, the 3rd Lord of Devonshire, who's the most unlucky boy in London. So basically, like, everybody he knows dies through, like, horrible circumstances. No. So it's definitely, like, got a dark sense of humor from what I've read so far. But then he meets this brilliant scientist girl who's his age, and then the 2 of them go off on this crazy adventure, and it looks like it's got some, like, steampunk stuff and all kinds of things. So
it's really fun.
Yeah, this one has been like calling to me for ages, so I'm glad I'm finally getting over it.
Alright, and the book I chose for this is 9 by Hines. This is one that Cora's talked about in her book
really
hauls
wanna read it.
a couple times, and it's basically a world where humans have 9 lives, and they are kind of encouraged to die as much as possible because they get better with each death or something like that. Like you get kind of like more who you are each time you die.
Like level up, kind of?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sounds really interesting. It kind of is giving me this like new dystopian vibes that seems to be happening these days,
cool.
and I am into it.
Yeah.
And that is a giant number. Yep, for written this on the cover.
You're gonna have to tell me how that one is, because I really want to read it.
I stole this out of your TBR pile, so I'll give it back after.
I hope it's good.
I hope so too.
Alright, so the next class is Astronomy. Read a science fiction novel. Did either of you pick that?
I chose this one.
I did too. What did I choose? Oh, I chose this one. So I chose The Loneliest Girl in the Universe by Lauren James. We were just talking about this yesterday, and so when I saw the science fiction prompt, I was like, I'm gonna read this one. It's about a girl whose parents are astronauts, and they take off in a spaceship from Earth, and unfortunately her parents don't survive the trip, and so she is left alone in a spacecraft mourning the death of her parents, and the only person that she talks to is her therapist from NASA back on Earth. It's the only communication she has, and apparently she learns that another spaceship that's orbiting around is going to come and meet hers, and that makes her really happy because then she won't be alone. So she starts messaging someone from this ship, and they kind of form a friendship, but as the ship gets closer, it seems like something might be wrong. And so it sounds like it's kind of like a thriller in space, and I'm kind of into it. Like, the plot is really unique.
Yeah.
So I'm excited. And this has come out, like, I think in the UK and Australia already, and it has really good reviews. So I want to read it. It comes out here in North America in July, so. Yeah.
Nice. I really like that cover too.
Yeah. The UK one's
like,
really gorgeous too.
Simple and lovely.
Yep. And lonely.
And lonely.
So I think I'm gonna like that. I don't read very much science fiction, so I wanted to choose this to kind of push myself outside my comfort zone. Okay, so what did you guys pick that?
I chose this one as well. So this is a reread for me, and it's Annihilation by Jeff Vandermeer. I read this trilogy. This is the Southern Reach trilogy. So I read this one about 3 or 4 years ago. But then they just turned the first book of the trilogy into a movie, also called Annihilation. And I just went and saw that. And I know there are huge changes that they made for the movie, and they won't be making the second 2 into movies as well. So I want to revisit this and like remember all the things that they changed. And it's like, this is the first sci-fi trilogy I ever read, and it completely sucked me in. It's like so bizarre and creepy and beautiful, and I'm looking forward to diving back in.
I didn't realize it was so tiny.
It's really tiny.
It looks like
the next 2 are probably like double this size. But this, yeah, you can whip through this one.
Cool. And I didn't pick that one.
Okay, alrighty. So next is Care of Magical Creatures. Read a book that includes magical creatures or features a magical creature on the cover. Did you guys pick that?
Nope.
I did not. So Cori?
Mine's more like a mythical creature.
That counts.
That totally counts.
But that is...
Oh, nice.
I picked Daughter of the Siren Queen because this just came out and I've been meaning to read it since the day I got my hands on it. So now is the time, and I'm gonna fly through this. I'm excited. Bring on April 2nd for the start of the readathon. And the word siren is in the title, so yeah.
Okay. I was waiting to hear.
Yeah, sirens are mythical.
Okay.
Sirens are mythical creatures.
Totally.
So that's what I'm gonna go with.
Cool.
Yeah. Alright. So next up is Charms. Read a fantasy book. I did not pick one for this.
I did not do this one either.
I did.
Nice.
Surprise.
Go ahead, cool.
Another one I just got my hands on, but have been meaning to read more of from Holly Black is Tithe, and I think this was her first book ever.
Nice.
I've heard it's good, and I read like the first paragraph and I was already like, this is dark.
Yeah,
this is like it's not. For some reason I kind of thought it might be like a little bit less mature than The Cruel Prince. Not from that first paragraph, it's not. But it's a fairy book, and it's about a girl who follows her mom's like rock band from city to city and ends up kind of in this war between 2 different groups of fairies.
Ooh.
So, sounds dark and cool, and I'm interested to get into it because I have the second book as well, so I can just like fly through them.
Awesome.
Yeah, Holly Black.
Ooh, very nice. Alright, and then we have Defense Against the Dark Arts, a book about or featuring secret societies or clubs. I picked one from this. Did you guys?
I did too, yeah.
Alright. So the one that I'm going with is The Unbound by Victoria Schwab. This is the sequel to The Archived, which I have read twice, but I have not read this one yet. So in this world, basically when you die, your body is then called a history, and it is shelved in the library where all of the dead souls are kept. And our main character, Mackenzie, is a keeper? Is that what they're called? Yeah. Keeper. So she's in charge of making sure that the souls of these people stay in the library and don't get loose. Every once in a while, a history might wake up and try and get out of the library. And it's just such a cool concept, and I loved the first book. And it's just, yeah, I just thought it was fitting for this, because it's kind of like a secret society of people that keep the dead in their place.
Yeah. What, like, form are they in?
They're like...
When they escape the library into a place called the Narrows, which is like an in-between world between like ours and the library. Okay. And they are people. They look like people.
They look like people.
But they're like confused and like not sure what's happening. Right. And like they have to like get them back.
Yeah. Huh. Because if a body, like if a person were to escape into our world, it would not be good. So her job is to just kind of like find the people in the Narrows, make sure they are reshelved. But yeah, I love Victoria Schwab, and I really want to read everything that she's put out, and this is like a glaring book that I haven't read yet, so I need to read it.
Neat.
Yes. Now, unfortunately, this was supposed to be a trilogy, and only 2 books ever got made. Oh. So I'm curious to see how this ends as well.
It's going to be like,
if it ends on a cliffhanger that will never be answered, I'll be a little bit upset. But we'll see.
And for this one, I picked another one that I've been meaning to get to for ages, The Love Interest by Cale Dietrich. I've heard mixed reviews for this book, but I'm going to go into it not expecting too much. I think people have had really high expectations, and I just think it's going to be fun. But it's about... It says there is a secret organization that cultivates teenage spies. The agents are called love interests because getting close with people destined for great power means obtaining valuable secrets. So basically they have to like try to get influential people to fall in love with them. Yeah. And there's like, twist! Something else happens instead. They're like competing to get this person to fall in love with them.
And like one of the characters is like the typical bad guy, like bad boy from books, and then one is like a good guy, so they're like both fighting for her. So funny.
Caden is a nice, Dylan is a bad.
That sounds like so tongue-in-cheek.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be so silly, and that's what I'm going into this expecting. And I really hope I like it.
Yeah. Alright. So that's all of Cori's books.
Like 5. I really stuck to the top of the list.
Yeah. Next is Divination. Read a book featuring prophecies. I didn't do that one either.
Nope. That sounds hard.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know. And then we have Herbology. Read a book with a nature-related word in the title, and I chose one for this.
So did I.
So the book that I chose for this was The Forest Queen by Betsy Cornwell, and all I know about this is that it is a kind of gender-bent retelling of Robin Hood. So it features a girl as the Robin Hood type character, and I just briefly kind of read the synopsis, and it sounds like it follows very closely to the Robin Hood story, and essentially like her brother John, which is like, you know, he's really evil, and she has to kind of go against him, and that's kind of her struggle throughout the story, and I think it's going to be really cool. I like this cover a lot.
It's beautiful.
It's a really short book, which is partly why I chose it. And this one comes out in August, I think, so yeah.
Ooh, neat. It's stunning.
Right? Become your own hero.
Yeah, that sounds really fun.
Ow. So I think that'll be good. I needed a short book.
Yeah. So my pick for this one is The Game Masters of Garden Place by Denis Markell. This is another middle grade, and this comes out in July. And it's like a Dungeons and Dragons kind of tale. So basically it sounds like this pack of nerdy 6th graders are super into the game, and then it comes to life, and they sort of have to like wrangle the characters back into their proper realm. Cool. Yeah, and it just sounds like fun and silly, and I know nothing about Dungeons and Dragons, so maybe I will learn a little.
True.
Exactly.
All I know is what I saw on Stranger Things.
Yeah.
That is such a fun cover.
I love the cover with the like creepy hands like coming up over the board,
too,
like bits. Yeah,
that's really cool.
Super fun.
Sounds fun.
All right, we're almost done getting through the classes. Next is History of Magic. Read a historical fiction novel.
Nope.
Then we have Muggle Studies. Read a Muggle nonfiction book.
Okay, I chose this one.
Nice. I almost did, but didn't.
I've been super obsessed with crows lately.
Yes, you have.
I really. There's a crow that lives outside my house that has been like imitating dogs, and it's the weirdest sound. And I was like filming him to like send to bird experts. It's yeah. The obsession's just growing. And then I went past one of my free libraries the other day.
Oh,
Gifts of the Crow. How perception, emotion, and thought allow smart birds to behave like humans. I'm really hoping it's not super dry, but Nature magazine says that it's a delightful read. So that's my nonfiction.
That's the only blurb.
Yeah, I know.
Oh no, the New York Times.
Oh yeah. Amazing.
The Seattle Times.
Clear
so
and
amazing.
detailed accounts of research. That's not...
I think it'll be interesting.
I think it'll be. And then I can regale you guys with my crow
Just with
facts.
you opening to one page, I saw a word I didn't know.
So I might not... We'll see if I pass that class, but I'm gonna at least give it a shot.
Give it a try.
Yeah.
All right, so that's all your books.
That's all my books.
We've only got 2 classes left. One is Potions, which is read a book about or with alchemy, which I did not choose. And then we have Transfiguration. Read a book that deals with transfiguration or shape-shifting or something similar, or a book with a cat on the cover. And so that is the one that I chose. And I'm hoping to read Shadow of the Fox by Julie Kagawa. And there's a character in here who is a shapeshifter who turns into a fox.
Ooh.
I just read like a very little bit like last week, and I really liked it, so I'm excited to I think I'm going to start over and read it fresh.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this just sounds like a really cool Japanese-inspired fantasy. It comes out in October, and essentially the 2 main characters are kind of fighting to find these pieces of an ancient scroll, and once someone has all those pieces and puts them together, then they will be granted 1 wish. So, yeah, I've never read Julie Kagawa, even though I know that she is definitely well-loved. So I'm excited to read this one.
Sounds cool.
Yeah.
So those are all the classes that we have decided to take on for the Owls Reading Challenge in April. If you guys want to take this challenge on with us, we would love to hear all of your picks for this month. And we'll be doing a wrap-up at the end of April to see how we did and whether or not we passed.
Are we gonna pass? I don't know.
We're gonna try.
Yeah. So if you like this video, give it a big thumbs up and subscribe for more videos every Wednesday and Saturday. Happy reading, and thanks for being awesome.
Bye.
Bye.